then 3-year revenue goal of $15 million.
Cool. How do you get customers right now?
Well, it used to be mostly word of mouth. And over the past 4 months or so, it's switched to SEO. Issues with marketing. So we knew that marketing was our big bottleneck. And so we went out and interviewed 5 and we hired 1, and $50,000 later and no progress, we ended up firing them. And I went on the website, I did all this myself. SEO turns out on the back end was trash. So when we finally found somebody to fix it, they started actually doing their job, and SEO converted really well.
So what's stopping right now from scaling?
It's mainly the marketing.
Very interesting. Recently, I was watching Scale or Fail, which is Alex Hormozi's game show concept, where he takes in a business owner, asks them their current bottlenecks, what they're doing, what's working, what's not, and helps them scale. Recently, they had a concierge medicine founder on his show. They audited his entire business, and obviously this was super intriguing to me as we work in healthcare. And right off the rip, he revealed he wasted $55,000 on a bad SEO agency. So believe it or not, I actually looked up this guy's business and I found it. It's myprecisionhealth.com. They're a concierge medicine practice in Florida. So in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to earn this guy back his $55,000 that he wasted on a bad SEO agency and show you what his site is doing wrong, what it's doing right, and how we can drive more leads from it. So I'm going to keep this advice tailored strictly on SEO to start with, and I'll just add some general website best practice tips at the end. But just off the rip here, this is his homepage, myprecisionhealth.com. Open detailed SEO Chrome extension, and not terrible here. We'd like to have a more descriptive title, maybe have a keyword in the page title as well and make it a little bit longer, but not terrible. Not going to tax him on that. The biggest thing I would recommend is having an H1 on this page. If you load the homepage, you'll see there's this big text right here, and you think immediately, wow, that must be an H1. Actually, it's not tagged as an H1 within the code of this page. And if we look at the site stack, it's built on WordPress. So he just needs to make sure that this is categorized as an H1. There's a lot of good keywords in there: concierge, primary care optimization, longevity medicine. Looking at other areas on the site, quick scroll through here. They do a great job of having detailed and a wealth of service pages, which is amazing. Service pages are great for ranking for umbrella terms that are related to your main keywords. They have incredibly expansive sitemap. They have an FAQ section on the homepage, which is very descriptive. Small piece of advice here: FAQs are a great place to add links to those service pages on your website that talk more about the question that this is addressing. So scrolling through these FAQs here, they don't have links to other pages on their site, which is a really good opportunity to embed those there. Small optimization: they have 8 images on their site, on their homepage rather, without alt text. Adding alt text images is a great way to infuse some of those keywords and ranking factors into areas of your website. Biggest missed opportunity right here is their logo on their navigation. That one is super important because it's a brand term that you can infuse without alt text. Also, the way that website builders usually work is a navigation is a primary component that's used across all the pages. So if you just go in and add a branded term to that logo once, it'll load across all areas in the site. So super low-hanging fruit there. Looks like they've got a blog and content section, which is just the lifeblood of a well-ranking site. And other than that, their homepage looks pretty good. Going into some of their service pages here, I'm just going to look at one. Again, all this feedback is going to be laser focused on SEO. I'll go into tips afterwards. Good URL path here: services, then service name in the URL query. Very long meta description. You need to shorten that up. You have to make sure in your website builder that the heading on your page is actually tagged as an H1. The H1 is one of the 6 primary SEO hotspots that AI, Google, and all search engines really reference to categorize information on your site. So that H1 is just super important. Small piece of site-wide advice: they have one big, massive FAQs page. What we generally like to see is having FAQs on each of these service pages rather than dumping them all on one page. When you have very specific FAQs on each of your service pages, not only is it good for that interlinking that we talked about earlier, but also it allows you to inject some FAQ schema markup into each of your service pages instead of all on one page. It's helpful for domain authority, and when your service pages are ranking higher, it's like a house that has multiple front doors. More people can find your brand and enter from various places of the web. Another great thing to check here: if we right-click, go to View Page Source, Command F, Schema, boom. Schema.org, graph, medical organization. Great to have the organization type tag. They have their social links. Great. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Great job injecting schema markup on the page. So aside from those big low-hanging fruits, there's not a whole lot else I would change. Now, from a website best practices standpoint, your only CTA is for a call with the team. Throughout your site, I want you to have some lower barrier to entry opt-ins to help you collect email addresses, add to your funnel, and give you an opportunity to nurture your visitors over time. There are so many guides, resources, etc. that you could give to an interested healthcare population like this. And for visitors of your website who aren't at the very bottom of that sales funnel, you need to have something to offer people that are in the middle or even further towards the top who aren't ready to make a purchase or work with you guys. Some ideas include case studies, free trials, and a lot of the other marketing things that you talked to Alex about in this episode. Another great opportunity for improvement right here is you have such a great concierge medical team. When you click into each of their bios, they don't actually bring up a new page. Putting all this information outside of a lightbox and onto its own unique page that's dedicated to each of your concierge team is another great place to not just add credibility to the members of your team, but also give each of these individual pages a place to rank for. If you guys are going to conferences, meeting people face to face, and they search you up and they look you up on Google, it's a very likely chance that this page will come up that's about each team member, and it gets them onto your website viewing your services, and it's just a better ecosystem rather than a social media profile. And last but not least, a great opportunity to rank in AI and traditional search engines. You already have a comparison section on your website. Why not make these individual pages? We found that comparison pages are just such good ranking opportunities in AI because they target that decision maker phase of the buyer journey. When customers are searching with AI or having a conversation with ChatGPT, they are searching your name versus a competitor, or what are the advantages of working with a concierge clinic versus the traditional practice. Targeting those longer questions and directly comparing yourself to the alternatives is a great opportunity to take advantage of that. So that may have been a little bit more than 2 minutes, but Dr. Ossie, again, my apologies for getting burned by another agency, but if you just implement some of these small trips, you're going to be right back on track.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.